There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, the other is as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. Good morning, children. Have a great, positive, beautiful day. Continuing physics lesson, force and pressure. Let us recall what you have learnt. What is a force? A force is a push or a pull on a body. The strength of a force is expressed by its magnitude. Find out the type of force acting on the below situations. When a person lifts a bucket of water, muscular force. Leaves and fruits fall to the ground when they get detached from the tree. Gravitational force. A ball rolling on the ground gradually slows down and comes to rest. Yes, it is frictional force. During dry weather, synthetic clothes often stick to the skin. Electrostatic force. Extracting scrap iron from garbage. Magnetic force. I hope you were able to answer these questions. Let us proceed with the next part of the lesson. Why is it difficult to cut with a blunt knife? Porters find difficult to carry heavy loads on their head. Why do shoulder bags have broad straps? Why do the wheels of buses and trucks are heavier than the wheels of car or scooters? You can push a drawing pen into a piece of wood, but not your thumb. Why? Let us find these answers by studying pressure. Yes, today's class is about pressure. What is pressure? The force acting upon a unit area of the surface is called pressure. Pressure is force by area. Force acting on a smaller area applies more pressure than the same force acting on a larger area. The SI unit of pressure is Pascal. 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per square meter. Pressure is given by force by area. The SI unit of force is Newton. SI unit of area is square meter. So, Newton per square meter is Pascal. So, let us find the answers for our questions. Pressure is more when you have a smaller area. If you have a larger area, pressure is less. Why is it difficult to cut with a blunt knife? You can see in a blunt knife, you can see the force acting. The force is acting on a larger area, giving rise to less pressure. Whereas in a sharp knife, you can see the force is acting on a smaller area, giving rise to more pressure. Porters find difficult to carry heavy loads on their head. You can see a thin piece of cloth on the head of the porter so that to reduce the pressure. A sharp knife cuts better as more pressure is exerted over a smaller area. Porters place a round cloth on their heads to increase the surface area, and the larger area reduces the pressure. Why do shoulder bags have broad straps? They have broad straps because the weight of the bag fall over a large area of the shoulder, producing less pressure on the shoulder. You can push a drawing pin into a piece of wood but not your thumb. because pinpoint applies as a smaller area creating more pressure, whereas thumb larger area where the pressure is less. Why do the wheels of buses and trucks are heavier than the wheels of car or scooters? Trucks and buses have broad tires so that there is less pressure exerted on the ground, and these tires do not sink into soft ground in the fields. Relationship between force and pressure. You can see bicycle pump. The person is applying a force to create air pressure in the tire. Pressure in fluids. Liquids and gases can flow and are called fluids. A solid exerts pressure on the surface due to its weight. Similarly, fluids have weight and they also exert pressure on the base and the walls of the container in which they are enclosed. Blaise Pascal, a French scientist, proved experimentally that fluids exert equal pressure in all directions. He took a rubber ball, made small holes in it, filled with water and squeezed the rubber ball, and he found out that water squirts out in all directions with equal force. And he took a rubber ball, filled it with gas which has got a small holes, and he saw that the air escapes in all directions with equal force. Thus he came to a conclusion: when pressure is applied at any point on a liquid or a gas, it is transmitted equally in all directions. Pressure exerted by liquid and gas. Liquid and gases exert pressure on the inner walls of the container in which they are kept. You can see a rubber balloon inflated here. It is filled with air. This air exerts pressure in all directions. In all directions, that is from all the sides. You can see a bottle filled with water. You have the holes in the bottle. The water is squirting out from the bottle, saying that it exerts pressure over the walls of the bottle. Liquids have weight and hence they exert pressure on the bottom of the vessel in which they are kept. This is the downward pressure in liquids. This is the sideward pressure in liquids. You have 3 holes here. The uppermost hole, the water falls out nearest to the box, to the can. The middle hole, a little less away from the can, and the lowest one, the water squirts to the farthest. From this we can conclude that pressure of water increases with depth. So these 2 experiments says that liquid exerts pressure sideways also. The pressure of the liquid increases with the depth of the water, and the pressure is exerted on the walls of the container in which they are stored. Upward pressure in a liquid. Take a bucket full of water, push a ball inside the bucket full of water. You can see that your hand is being pushed up. This is due to upward pressure from water. This upward pressure of water is called thrust. Thrust per unit area is also called pressure. This upward thrust helps swimmers and the water animals to remain afloat on water. This upward thrust exerted by the liquid or a gas on an object when immersed in it is called buoyant force. The air and the atmosphere. The envelope of air surrounding the earth is called atmosphere. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the surface of the earth and all the other objects on its surface due to its weight. The pressure is called atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit area exerted against a surface by the weight of air column above that surface. This is the unit area. This is the air in the column. It exerts pressure on this unit area. The force is exerted on this unit area, which is called as atmospheric pressure. The weight exerted by vertical column of all the layers of air of atmosphere on unit area of Earth's surface is called atmospheric pressure. Rubber suckers. On pressing a rubber sucker, the air between the cup and the surface escapes out. The inside pressure is reduced. The sucker sticks to the surface due to the high pressure from outside. The straw for sipping cold drink. A straw is a narrow pipe used for drinking syrups and fruit juice. One end of the straw is dipped into the drink and air is sucked through mouth at the upper end. On sucking, the air pressure inside the straw is reduced and the atmospheric pressure on the surface of the drink pushes the drink up into the straw to reach out your mouth. Syringe. The nozzle of the syringe is dipped in liquid and its piston is withdrawn, lowering the air pressure inside the syringe. The atmospheric pressure on the surface of the liquid being higher pushes it into the syringe. A dropper. The rubber bulb is pressed to push out the air from it, thus reducing air pressure inside the tube. Atmospheric pressure on liquid pushes the liquid inside the rubber tube when the pressure upon the tube is withdrawn. Vacuum cleaner. It is being used in our homes to clean the floors and carpets. It has a blower or a fan inside. The blower blows the air out of the body of the vacuum cleaner, creating vacuum. To fill the vacuum, air from outside, which is at a higher pressure, is sucked into it. The sucked air carries dust with it from outside. Our body and atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure acting on our body from outside is balanced by the blood pressure acting from inside. It is maximum on the surface of the earth. When you go up on the mountains or high altitudes, we enter low atmospheric pressure zone. Mountaineers suffer from nose bleeding at high altitudes because atmospheric pressure is less than our blood pressure and hence blood vessels burst and nose bleeds. Measuring pressure. The instrument to measure the pressure of liquid at various depths is manometer. Barometer is an instrument to measure atmospheric pressure. Activities. Take a polythene bag, fill the bag with water, use a pin to poke several holes in the bag. Now squeeze the bag gently. What do you observe? Take a plastic bottle, drill 3 equal sized holes in the side, fill it with water. Where does the water squirt out fastest? Take a glass tumbler and fill it with water. Now place a cardboard on the tumbler and press it on the mouth of the tumbler so that there is no air left inside the tumbler. Hold the tumbler in the hand and invert it upside down. What do you observe? I hope you have understood today's class. Don't forget to make a note of all points given in the slides. Activities are given for better understanding. Happy Gauri Ganesha festival. Thank you everyone.
When you hammer an iron nail, you apply force on the flat side of the nail. The pointed side of the nail, which is in contact with the wall, then applies the force on the wall and tries to pierce it. Now let me ask you an interesting question. What will happen if you hammer the pointed side and try to pierce the flat side of the nail? You will find it difficult to push the flat face of the nail through the wall even if you apply more force than you did in the first case. What is the reason for this? The reason is that the pressure applied by the tip of the nail on the wall is more than the pressure applied by the nail's flat surface. But the question is why? First, notice that the area of the tip of the nail is very less as compared to the area of its flat surface. This tells us that the area of the surface on which the force is applied matters. We will understand this in detail, but first let us define pressure. We define pressure as the perpendicular force acting on the surface of an object per unit area on which it's acting. It's easy. Force acting per unit area. We already know that the SI unit of force is Newton, denoted by N, and that of the area is meter squared. So the SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter squared. It is also called Pascal, which is denoted by PA. Why is it called Pascal? It is given this name to honor the achievements of a French scientist named Blaise Pascal for his contributions in hydrostatics and hydrodynamics. Observe the equation carefully. Area is in the denominator of the fraction. What is this area? Well, this area is nothing but the area on which force is applied. Say I keep the force constant and I keep increasing this area. What will happen to the pressure? Will the pressure increase or decrease? Use pure mathematical logic to answer this. If I have a fraction and I keep the term in the numerator constant and keep increasing the term in the denominator, then will the fraction increase or decrease? Surely it will decrease. So the pressure will decrease if I increase the area while keeping the force constant. With this newfound knowledge, let's go back to the example we saw earlier, the nail and the wall. Notice that we are also applying the force perpendicular to the surface of the wall. The angle between the nail and the wall is 90 degrees and not anything else. If you notice, the tip of the nail has a very small area compared to the flat surface of the nail, and hence the area of contact with the wall reduces to great extent in the first case. Hence, the pressure applied by the tip on the wall is greater than the pressure applied by the flat surface. That is why it is easy for the tip of the nail to penetrate through the wall. You can even use drill machines to drill the hole into the wall. You see that it has the pointed tip for the same reason. You can easily cut the vegetables using the cutting edge of the knife. But if you use the blunt edge of the knife, it will be difficult to penetrate it in. What is the reason in this case? Well, in the first sight, the two edges might look the same to us. But if you look at them carefully, the cutting edge has small triangle-like shapes with sharp outer points. The other edge has nothing of these. So if you cut a vegetable with a cutting edge, the area of contact between the vegetable and the knife is greatly reduced. Hence, more pressure is applied on the vegetables using cutting edge of the knife. Area used to cut the trees also have sharp cutting edges instead of placid ones. It increases the pressure on the tree due to the less area of contact. The examples that we've seen so far are applications of high pressure. It's about how high pressure is useful to us in some cases. But it is not always the case. There are situations where we require low pressure. Let us see some applications or advantages of low pressure. We use snowshoes to walk on snow. The reason for that is simple. Due to the larger area in contact with the snow, snowshoes reduces the pressure on the snow. We are able to walk on it without our feet sinking deep inside. In case of normal shoes, due to comparatively smaller area of contact, the pressure on snow is more and it sinks our feet deep inside. Note that the force applied on the snow in both the cases is the same. This force is nothing but our weight on the snow. Have you ever wondered why the wheels of an army tank run on the steel tracks rather on the ground? Notice that the wheels are on steel tracks and are not touching the ground. The army tank is huge in size. If the wheels run on ground, due to less contact area with the ground, the pressure on the ground will be massive. However, the tracks have much larger area of contact with the ground and hence the pressure on the ground is reduced to a great extent. In all the examples that we have seen in this video, it is the solid which is applying pressure on another solid. Do liquids also apply pressure? We will see that in the next video. A wooden block kept on a table exerts a force on it, and we know that the wooden block is a solid substance. What about liquids? We know that liquids are kept in containers. Do liquids or fluids exert pressure? Yes, they do. They exert pressure on the base and the walls of the container in which they are enclosed. The pressure on the base will be downwards, and on the walls the pressure will be sidewards. We can also derive something interesting if we look at the fluid in terms of layers. Say there's water kept in a plastic container. Let's divide the fluid into 5 equal parts. You can see that the second layer of water is holding the weight of the first layer. Similarly, the third layer is holding the weight of the first as well as the second layer. And the fourth layer is holding the weight of the top 3 layers, and so on and so forth. So clearly, the pressure at the bottommost layer is the maximum. There's even a way you can find this out. Near the topmost layer, make a little hole at the side. You'll see that the water flows out from that hole like this. It doesn't roll along the walls, it flows out at an angle. Now let's make a second hole near the layer under it. You'll see that the water flows out at a wider angle as compared to the earlier case. We continue to make holes in the wall and we'll notice that the water literally squirts out. This proves that the pressure at the bottom is much more than the pressure at the topmost layer. What about the upward force exerted by a liquid? How do we understand that? We will see that in our next video.